Anti-Semitism. Prejudice, discrimination or hostility directed against ethnic or religious Jews. Anti-Judaism, Judeophobia. Prejudice, discrimination or hostility directed against any Semitic people, ancient or modern, such as Samaritans, Palestinians, Arabs or Assyrians. Anti-Semitism synonyms: anti-Jewishness, anti-Judaism, anti-Judaism, Jew-hatred, Judeophobia. Anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism.
Shalom. I want to start off by saying Kal Halal Yamla, Yahweh, Shem, Yahushai, Shem Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us the truth and who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the Akim that is spread around the four corners of the earth, spreading this word in sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. I'm the brother Quarters Upsayan, coming back through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai with another lesson, with another video, and Lord willing, this video is edifying. Gone. So in this video, I want to speak on three things. My thoughts on the situation in the Middle East, are Edomites Hebrews, and anti-Semitism. So what you see here in front of you is a news article from BBC. Clashes in Jerusalem hours after Israel and Palestinian ceasefire. So what I want to go into is that the people that are in Israel right now, those are the Amalekites, and they have the central banking system that they put up, the 12 banking families, which are the Bilderbergs, Rothschilds, the Gettys. I don't know all of them, but you can Google that, the 12 banking families. They are the so-called Zionists, that rule the earth. And let's see, in 2020, December 2020, it's also a topic I wanted to go into. There have been made bills in America and in other countries that speak against anti-Semitism, against the people that are inhabiting the land of Israel right now. So I can pull this up for you. This is from the Rex-84.nl. This is a Dutch article, but I translated it in the English so that you can understand. So mind you that laws and bills are being put in place for anti-Semitism to be abolished. So this is one of the next steps that they're going to come with, to bring their new world order into effect, that you can speak against them, that you can come against them. So I'm not going to use the J word, because that's when they're going to pull down your video. So I'm just going to refer to them as Amalek. So this is Rex-overheid.nl, National Coordinator for Counter-Semitism to start in 2021. So this is one of the bills that they passed here in Holland. In early 2021, a national anti-Semitism coordinator will set to work to strengthen the approach to discrimination, threats, and intimidation against the J-word community. With social media, anti-Semitism is much more visible, and online reach greater than we have seen in times. The Taboo 19 economic hardship are breeding grounds for conspiracy theories against the J-word community, said Justice and Security Minister Grapperhaus, who said on Sunday in conversation with representatives of the J-word community that the NCAB will be appointed early next year. You see? So then they go into these different days that they have, and the anti-Semitism against these J-word people, you know. So mind you that this already was put in place, and now there's being attention is being sparked up between the Palestinians and the Israelis. So, okay, you know, this is a whole order out of chaos scenario. You know, they already put the plan, what they're gonna do, and now they're sparking chaos, and that's gonna lead to, you know, enforcing this, and ultimately Yahushai is gonna be seen as anti-Semitism speech. You know, because that is, we are proclaiming to be the real children of Israel, and then this law is going to enforce them, as it says in Isaiah 10 and 1. You know, they come with previous laws. This law is going to enforce them, going to put them in power to enforce and come after us. Because also, one of the brothers in New York, he had a dream about that, how military units came to surround them. That was his dream, that was his vision. And then they took the apostle Tahar, they took the apostle Gabar, they took all the elder brothers, you know, brought them into a camp. And these bills that they're passing is gonna make them able to do these things, you know, because they're sparking something that both these two people, the Israelis and the Palestinians, they have nothing to do with the birthright. They don't have the right for Israel. The right of the land of Israel is only for the Israelites, which are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. You see? Because Israeli is an inhabitant of a land, but the Israelite is a nation of the people of Israel. You know, we as a nation, we have been given that land. We took that land out of the hands of the Canaanites. Most High put it in our power. You know, he drove them away, and that is our land. But we have been driven out because of iniquity that our forefathers did. You see? So the Israelis that live there, they don't have any right to that land. And the Palestinians neither. Because, let me see if I still got it up. Here. Palestine. Let's go here. Yeah, let's read it real quick. These two forms occur in the authorized version, but 4 times in all, always in poetical passages. The first in Exodus 15 and 14 and Isaiah 14 and 29. The second, Joel 3 and 4. In each case, the Hebrew is Pelashat. Palashat. It's supposed to be Palashat in the Lashon Kodash. The word found besides the 2 above only in Psalm 60 and 8, 83 and 7, 87 and 4, and Psalms 104 and 9, in all which our translators have referred it by Palestia or Philistines. You see? So that word, the so-called Philistines nowadays, they go back to the Philistines. And who are the Philistines? Those are the Africans, you know, so-called Africans. So these Palestinians, these Palestinians, they adopted, or they took the name of the Philistines because David, remember David and Goliath? Goliath was from the Philistines. He was a so-called African descendant. You know, but these Palestinians, they don't look like Africans, so they stole that nationality also from these people. You know, because what does it read in Joel 3 and 4? Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine, which ye Will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, I will return your recompense upon your own head. You see? So Tyre and Sidon, that was the coast. Let me see, the west coast of Africa, I believe. The west coast of the west coast of Africa, or the west coast of against the land against Israel. Mind you, I have to go into it, but it goes into the Africans, But these Palestinians, they took that nationality, so it's neither from the Israelis or neither from the Palestinians, but they are being sparked to fight, and that land is cursed right now. So they be fighting there in the Middle East, but the Most High is gonna make his judgment ready, and it's gonna start in the Middle East, in the Persian Gulf. So that's my thoughts on what these two nations or what these two people are fighting about. And now I want to go into Numbers. Number 6. Like, yeah. Bear with me for a second. Was it 16? Not 24. This is Numbers 24, verse 20. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. God, as you remember, as I was saying, these 12 banking families, those are the chief of the nation of Esau, Edom, of the so-called white man. Because that's why these people, the average Joe, they hate these Amalekites, because they see them as two different people, but they are the same nation, but they are the head of that nation. They are the chief of that nation. They are the rich 1%. Those are the modern day Chaldeans, the ones that put out spells on people. Because when you go into the music industry, you have to make a deal with these people, and you have to bring their spells into their how could I say it? You're gonna do these spells on a multitude of people, howbeit through shows, or it be through their television, So that's why they are the modern day Chaldeans. They put spells on people. They got everybody under that covering cast, as it says in Isaiah 25:7, to have everybody in subjection. God. So Amalek was the first of the nations. That's twofold, because Amalek was the first nation to fight against Israel, And the second part is that Amalek is the first of the nations right now. They're in rulership right now. But the latter end shall be that he shall perish forever. God, they're going to serve 1,000 years hard bondage, hard slavery. And then after that 1,000 years, they're going to be done away with forever. Nobody's going to remember them. That's Obadiah. Obadiah 1, verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be anything remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh Shem had spoken it. You see, so Esau is going to be utterly done away with. You see, because they are also the Amalekites, or the head of the nation of Israel. as I spoke about. Isaiah 24, verse 21. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones. You see, the Amalekites are the high ones of this world right now. So, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. Gone. So the Most High is gonna bring punishment to these people, to these Amalekites, man. Because how do you know that these Amalekites are the ones that the Bible is speaking about? Let me see, Job 9, verse 24. Because the power, they have everything in the power of their hand right now. You know, the earth has been given unto them from Yahweh Shem Yahushai. This is Job 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Gone. So that's Esau Edom. And the chief tribe of Esau Edom is Amalek, you know. But Amalek, he knows that the biblical history to be true. He knows about these prophecies, but he gave everybody a different name, you know. He came with that incantation. He comes with names, corporate names for everybody else, so that they stay asleep, so that they don't know who they are. And ultimately, it's for the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Latinos, the Native Americans, not to know who they are. But they gave everybody different names, because Esau Edom, he himself is also a Hebrew. Because being a Hebrew means that you come from a certain bloodline, from the bloodline of Eber, and that makes you a Hebrew, you know. Here, because that also cuts that anti-Semitism thing that they're speaking about, that Yahushua is anti-Semitic, you know, that's an anti-Semitic name, and that we so-called blacks are anti-Semitic against these Amalekites. No, we are from that same bloodline, which is the bloodline of Shem. You see, because this family tree cuts that into pieces. You know, you have Elam, which is the East Indians. They are also from Shem, but they are not Hebrew. They are also Shemites. The multitude of the people are Shemites here upon earth. You know, it's misleading to say that we as so-called blacks, Latinos, the Native Americans, the Israelites, that we are anti-Semitic, but we also come from Shem. You see, so let me give a quick summary of who comes from Shem. You have Elam, it's the East Indian. He has Asher, which are these Turks. They are also from Shem. You have Lud and Aram. Alam are the Syrians. They also are from Shem. But in order for you to be called a Hebrew, these people are not Hebrews. But it all starts by our forefather Eber, because he was the original Hebrew. And then he had the son Peleg, and Peleg means the dividing of the nations. That's when the earth started to be divided. And then you had Peleg, Ru, Zarug, Nahor, and Terah. And then you have Abram, because this is the chosen seed line. You know, Shem, Terah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the Israelites. You know, that's pursuing to 2nd Ezra 6. Second Ezra 6, verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. And this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. As for the other people, which also come from Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing but like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. God. So these other nations are like spittle. You don't bother yourself when you spit by accident when you talk, or when you just spit on the ground and be like, oh, after a day or two you go back to find that place that you spat on. No, man. Or a bucket of a vessel that is completely full and you let a couple of drops fall. You don't worry about that. But there is a chosen people, which is the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob within that seed line. So these people, these are Shemites, East Indians, Turks, Syrians. But to be called a Hebrew, you are supposed to be from the bloodline of Eber, going back to Abraham. So you have the Ishmaelites, they are the Arabs. And then you have Esau, Edom, those are the so-called white people. Those are also Hebrew. Ishmaelites are Hebrew. Edomites are Hebrew. The Jacobites and the Israelites, those are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Those are Hebrew. And then you have Lot, which is the cousin of Isaac, or the uncle, Salakia. He produced the Moabites and the Ammonites, which is the Chinese and the Japanese. Those are also Hebrews. You see? So that is what it means to be anti-Semitic. That's what it means to be a Hebrew. And those are my thoughts on everything that is happening here with the ceasefire in Jerusalem between Israel and Palestine. They don't have anything to do with that land, actually. But it's all putting these puzzle pieces into play, you see? So with that, I hope this video is edifying. And I want to say, Kal Halal Yamla, Yahweh, Ba Shem, Yahushai, Ba Shem Reka Kodash, Shalom Akim.